Hi, and welcome to this mindful movement and meditation session. I have labeled this as a mindful movement and meditation session for anxiety and depression. And so the first thing I wanted to say in that is thank you for coming. Thank you for being brave and courageous. And if you are experiencing depression or anxiety right now, know that I have been there and I know what you're going through, and it is a tricky time. And if anything I can say is to really implore you to reach out to others. It's something I didn't do for a very long time, and I believe it's why my depression and anxiety ran for so long in my life. If you have a friend or a family member or a support worker or a health professional you can turn to, please do. There's some great resources at Beyond Blue and also Lifeline if you're needing immediate help. So before we continue on today, I would like to thank the traditional custodians and owners of this land that I am practicing on today. And I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present, and future. So today's meditation, we are moving because when you are anxious, it's really hard to just kind of sit and start your meditation practice. When you're feeling depressed, it's really hard to get going. So we're going to use movement mindfully to help anchor us to our breath. Okay, so get yourself comfortable and we'll begin. So as we start today, I thought I'd just put a disclaimer out to begin with that although I am a qualified yoga and meditation teacher, it's something I've been teaching and practicing for a very long time now. I am by no means a health professional in the fact that I'm a psychologist or a therapist or anything like that. So I do implore you, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling depressed, please seek help in others. So speak to your GP, speak to someone, speak to a therapist, a psychologist, a support worker, someone who will be able to really help you with your individual circumstances. Today, what I'm offering up are some mindful movement and meditation tools that I used on my journey. So I will firstly start by explaining briefly my journey with anxiety and depression. And the reason I want to share that today is because it is Global Wellness Day. And depression is one of the biggest diseases in the world, if we'd like to think of it in that way. Currently, I went on to Beyond Blue yesterday and found out that in Australia, 1 in 6 Australians are currently either experiencing anxiety or depression as we speak. So it's a pretty big figure. It's a huge pandemic. So even though I feel a little nervous talking about this, as it is quite exposing, I know that it's going to help someone. And these tools are things that I've used to help me in the past. So what I'll get you to do as I explain my story is just to get yourself in a comfortable seat. That's either sitting in a chair, on a yoga mat, on the floor. You might lie down if it feels better. If that's where you need to be, stay in bed. If you want to stand up, if that feels better for you. If you want to walk as you listen to my story, please do what feels best for you. So several years ago, it's probably about 8 years ago, I experienced a deep depression and anxiety disorder. And although this kind of lasted for a very long time, I would say it was a minimum of 12 months that I really felt and experienced this anxiety and depression. I will differentiate what the two are and how I perceive them. Anxiety is kind of like this fearfulness and phobia and fear of everything. And for me, it literally started to infiltrate into everything I did in my work life. Everything became a really scary thing to do. And I was constantly sitting up here in this kind of energy, always racing around. And at the same time, I was also experiencing deep depression, which is completely different energy. Depression is this kind of lethargic, heavy, deep feeling like and I always liken it to being trapped in a hole. And it's dark and you can see the light up there, but it seems so far away, and no matter how you try and climb out of this hole, you just keep falling down. So when you experience anxiety and depression on the same thing, you're constantly between these two energies, this heightened, quick, fast, scattered energy, and this really low, lethargic, heavy energy. So today we're going to work a little bit with embracing those two energies and trying to find a balance in between. Now, I know when I was feeling incredibly anxious in my life, when someone mentioned the word meditation to me and said, sit down, just be still, quieten your mind, that was freaky. Like, I didn't want to do that in any respect. Like, that was just a terrifying, terrifying thing to do. To just sit and be still with my thoughts. I mean, because if you have a really bad relationship with yourself up here and you think you are worthless, you are so cruel and unkind to yourself, you don't want to sit there with your thoughts. And it's a lot harder to just silence those thoughts. So I like to always start my practices with a little bit of movement to help me flow and get rid of some of this anxious energy. Or if I'm feeling on the more depressed side, to help move some energy so I can get rid of that lethargicness. So I invite you today, if you are practicing along with me, to either choose to do this seated, choose to do this standing, choose to do this lying down, and make the movement your own. This is not a yoga class for you to learn a headstand or trikonasana and tree pose. I have a million classes on that you can access, and they're brilliant and fun and wonderful. This is just simply about moving your energy and starting to connect to your breath. Okay, so wherever you are, feel whatever part of your body is connected to the earth right now and feel that anchoring. And then reach your arms as you inhale up above you. If you want to just reach, do so, or you can connect the hands into a prayer. And then as you exhale, bring the hands back to the midline. For me, I'm going to choose to do a prayer position today. If you just want to bring them back to your lap, completely fine. So as we inhale, we're going to lift hands high to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to bring the hands back to the heart space. Inhale to lift up. Now, if you're finding that my breath is too slow, too fast, I want you to go with your breath right now. If it's at this speed, if this is where your breath is right now, inhale up, exhale out. Inhale up. If your speed is super slow, please connect with your natural breath. As I said, this is not about learning any kind of physical technique today. This is simply about anchoring in to your breath. Just a few more rounds of this. If you need to think the words inhale up, exhale down. And anytime your mind starts to wander, simply bring yourself back to this action of inhale up, exhale down. We'll do a few more breaths like this. Good. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. Now we're going to start to change this up. So next time you find yourself back in the midline, we're going to now inhale to the side. So I'm going to reach and extend my arm up and over. Exhale back to center. Then I'm going to inhale, reach to the side. Exhale back to the center. As I've said before, I want you to stick with your breath. If your breath is super fast right now, then this movement's going to flow a lot quicker. If it's super slow, take the time for your full inhale, your full exhale. And if your mind is wandering all over the place, I invite you to connect to these words. Inhale, side. Exhale, center. Inhale, side. Exhale, center. Okay? Continuing in your breath a few more times. You can stick with my timing if that feels comforting to you. If you need to, stick with your breath. Feel whatever part of your body is connected down into the earth. Feel that anchoring. Feel that support that's always with us. And then feel a lightness in the upper body as you stretch to the side. One more each side in your own time. And then we'll meet back in the center. Okay, we're going to connect now with a forward movement back to the center. So as you inhale, maybe take your hands to the earth in front of you. Exhale, return back to the center. This might be a full stretch of the arms along the floor, and an exhale, hands back to the lap. If it feels like you want to take the palms together, bring the hands back to the heart space. Whatever feels right for you. The inhale is forward, the exhale is back to center. So we're simply sticking to this inhale forward, exhale center. Inhale forward, exhale center. If there's something else you want to lead with, maybe it's just the heart space forward, heart space back. A few more like this. I want to emphasize that there is no right or wrong. We're simply trying to anchor into our breath and into our bodies. Last one of these and we'll meet back in center. Okay, our final part of this movement sequence is lifting the heart space, so the chest up towards the sky, and then contracting the belly in. So if you're on your back, you might just contract to one side, come back to center, contract to one side, come back to center. Do this however resonates well with you. But this time it's an inhale, expand the heart space high. Exhale, contract. Inhale to open, you might interlock the hands behind the back. Exhale, you might interlock the hands in front of the back. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Few more, tuning into the length of your breath. The words are inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Two more like this. And we'll meet back in that center position for you. So now we are going to continue with this last one we did. And I actually invite you, if you didn't do it this time, interlock your hands behind your back, roll your shoulders back and down, and just lift that heart space up. Notice straight away how expansive and open we feel in the chest when we do this. And I'm lifting up towards the sky. It doesn't have to be huge. We're not trying to do some crazy back bend. We're just opening up that heart space. What I found when I was really depressed was I naturally gravitated towards this posture. Reason being, here are all our internal organs. When we are in fear, we go to protect them, including our heart space. When we are feeling pain emotionally, we want to contract. So today I'm inviting you to expand and open that front body instead. We're going to breathe, inhale, exhale, stay. So inhale will be expand, exhale will be stay. So it's natural for us to contract on an exhale. I now want you to try and resist this movement and stay open. So it's inhale, open and expand. Exhale, stay. Inhale, open and expand. Maybe you're interlocking the hands the whole time. It's up to you. Inhale, open and expand. Exhale, stay open. You can connect to these words. Inhale, expand. Exhale, stay open. Inhale, expand. Exhale, stay open. 3 more in your own breath. Great. We'll meet back in the center now. Just kind of neutralize your position, but keep that sense of openness and expansion in the heart space. If your body wants to resist down, just for this remaining part of the practice, I invite you to try and sit through the discomfort and stay open. Okay, we now have an option to invite some counts in. So when we go into an anxious state, our inhale becomes bigger than our exhale. And I've been through many panic attacks where people have said to me, just breathe them up, just breathe. Now, when you're in a panic attack and that's happening, it's really, really tricky to just breathe. Instead, what I found helped me in these moments, and this was after seeking some help and getting some guidance and support, was to expand my exhale. Of course, we're breathing, but I'm focusing on the wrong part of my breath. If I keep increasing my inhale, I'm just exacerbating that anxiety. So for now, we're going to inhale 2 counts, exhale 3. I'm going to guide us for a few rounds, and then I invite you to do this in your own timing. I might be too fast or too slow for you, okay? But we're going to inhale 1, 2, exhale 1, 2, 3. 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 Now I invite you to continue this counting and this breath in your own. You might want to expand the inhale a few more counts, but make sure that your exhale is at least 1 count longer. You might even start playing with how long you can increase that exhale. So I'll give you a few more rounds of that in your own time. If it feels okay, you might soften or close down the eyes as you do this. Otherwise, keeping them open is absolutely fine. If the practice at any time doesn't feel right for you, if it's actually exacerbating any feelings of anxiety or depression, just come back to your natural breath. Let this practice go. However, sometimes we need to sit in this discomfort in order to find comfort, because there's always going to be discomfort in our lives. And every time we face that discomfort and sit through it, the easier it becomes. If you've noticed your posture has started to sink, I invite you to lift and expand the chest. Even if it feels like you want to curl in a ball, I invite you to sit up, lift the heart space, feel that openness. Last round of this. And we'll let go of this portion of the practice. Now, final tool I'm going to pass on today, which I have to say was probably one of the strongest tools in helping me forward and out of my depression and anxious habits. And some people find this a little bit like, oh, it's a bit hippie. However, our thoughts and our breath and our well-being are all combined. If your thought is saying something like, you suck, you're not good enough, nobody loves you, and trust me, I know, I've been there. That was my inner voice for a very long time. It's very hard to let go of these feelings. So today I invite you, no matter how uncomfortable it might feel, to create a mantra for yourself. And it's a little bit like the idea of fake it till you make it. So if I want to become more peaceful, or I want to be happier in my life, then my mantra might be, I am peace, I am happiness, or it might be something like, I am becoming peaceful, I am becoming happiness. So have a think about what you want in your life and create a mantra, and this may be the mantra that really supports and helps you and you can connect to, or it might not be the right mantra and you can try something different tomorrow until you find one that really resonates with you and helps you in those times of need. So whilst we are together, if you have formulated a mantra, and remember, you don't have to believe it yet, it's just something you want to create more of in your life, then you're going to connect it now to each breath. On the inhale, you will say your mantra in your mind or out loud, it's up to you. I am peace, whatever it is, I am peace. And then exhale, I am peace. Okay? Inhale your mantra. Exhale, stay lifted, and exhale your mantra. We've got the next few moments together to practice this. If your mind wanders, you now have an anchor to guide you back. Doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders, come back to this anchor. Last round of this. And when you have finished your final exhale, if your eyes were closed or softened, I invite you to gently flick them back up. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and for being brave enough to come to class. I know when I put this out yesterday, I have been told in the past, do not do meditations for anxiety and depression because people won't want to come, because they won't want to say that they're feeling anxious or depressed. And there's part of me that was just going to call this a mindful meditation. However, I really feel we need to remove the stigma around mental health issues so that people do seek help and basically find themselves a tool belt to guide them. There's many tools I have. This is just a few of them that I've imparted today. If they resonate with you and they feel like something you want to repeat, you'll have this video after, so you can try this out a few times. If it didn't feel good for you, you can let it go. I'm not saying this is the way out, this is the one and only way out. And I will implore you that if you are feeling depressed and you are feeling anxious and it is impacting your life, then seek help, whether that's in a friend, in family, or in a health professional. Beyond Blue has some really great resources. And also Lifeline is a great resource as well, especially if you're needing immediate help. This video will be available for you so you can repeat this as many times as you need. And I actually encourage you, if you did find it quite confronting and uncomfortable, try it again one more time at least, because I found my journey was very uncomfortable when I sat with myself. Those self-sabotaging thoughts that are there just keep going if we don't check in with them. So I know it can be very uncomfortable at first, but naturally over time, this will start to have an impact on your life. As my first meditation teacher said, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. I think he was quoting Pantene Pro-V, the hair product. However, I totally agree. It's something you're not going to feel tomorrow. Oh my God, I've changed. I did one little meditation, mindful thing, and I've changed. It's going to take some commitment and time and sitting with that discomfort, slowly changing habits and thoughts, slowly expanding and deepening your breath, and also, as I've said before, seeking support from others. It's so essential in your journey, whether that's a friend, family member, support worker, health worker. Thank you so much. Bye.